What follows is a forensic audit. We're going to examine declassified documents, legislative records, and scientific papers. The conclusions you're about to hear are not our own. They're drawn directly from the evidence on the record.
You know the official story. It's become common knowledge by now that in late 2016, personnel at the American Embassy in Havana, Cuba, started reporting a really strange set of symptoms. And this was presented to the world as the beginning, the origin point of some new and mysterious threat.
The public record shows that this is just categorically false. The technology, the science, and the government's own awareness of its effects, well, that didn't just start in 2016. The timeline, as you'll see, has been deliberately obscured. So let's examine the evidence.
To really understand what's happening today, we first have to look at what was being studied over half a century ago. Because the precedent for these events is documented, it's declassified, and it's completely unambiguous. Now, this is not a conspiracy theory. It's a line item pulled directly from a declassified document for Project Pandora, a secret U.S. government program from the 1960s. So what was its objective? To study the biological and neurological effects of microwaves. The very title of this report confirms it. U.S. intelligence was actively investigating how electromagnetic fields affect the human central nervous system, more than 50 years before the events in Havana.
And the science behind this? It's not new. By the 1970s, it was already well established. It's called the Microwave Auditory Effect. To put it simply, pulsed microwaves cause a tiny, rapid expansion in the soft tissues of your head. This creates a pressure wave that your inner ear actually detects a sound. So no, it's not imagined, it's not psychological, it's just physics. The brain hears a sound that never actually entered the ear canal.
Okay, so knowing the science is one thing. But what about the weaponization of that science? Well, for that, the legislative record provides a pretty stunning and very brief moment of official admission.
Right in the wake of 9/11, a bill was introduced to Congress. Its goal was to ban weapons in space. But what's really crucial here is what this bill, H.R. 2977, specifically identified as a category of weapon that needed to be banned in the first place.
The original bill was incredibly explicit. It sought to ban psychotronic weapons. That's a term for weapons that act on the nervous system. It even had language about technologies designed to affect mental health. I mean, this was a legislative admission that these concepts were real enough to be prohibited. But that version never made it to a vote. The replacement bill? It stripped out all of that specific language, replacing it with a vague physics-based definition. And just like that, the admission was erased from the record.
You see, this wasn't just some simple wording change. It created a massive legal loophole. A weapon designed to be sublethal, one that could incapacitate you or cause cognitive harm without leaving physical burns or impact wounds, well, it might not even be classified as a weapon at all under this new sanitized definition. The entire category of weapon that targets the brain was effectively written out of the very law that was meant to control it.
So, with the historical precedent established and a legislative loophole created, we now turn to the inevitable outcome, the documented physical damage being reported by hundreds of public servants.
And this brings us right back to the official starting point, Havana, 2016. Experienced U.S. diplomats reported a strange, directional sound, an intense pressure in their skull, and then devastating cognitive effects. The symptoms line up perfectly with what you would expect from the very technologies studied decades before.
And make no mistake, this is not an isolated incident affecting just a few people. As of 2024, this is the number of U.S. government personnel who have qualified for medical care under the government's own classification system for these injuries. 334 people. The symptoms are terrifyingly consistent across hundreds of cases. Intense pressure, directional sound, cognitive damage. But what's absolutely crucial to understand is that this is not psychosomatic. Advanced brain imaging of victims reveals physical, measurable changes to the structure of their brains. These are physical injuries that require sophisticated diagnostic tools just to be properly identified.
So this isn't some historical curiosity or a mystery that's been solved. This audit of the official record reveals a clear pattern, and it points to an evolving reality, not a concluded event.
So let's just lay out the timeline revealed by this audit, piece by piece. In the 1960s, the U.S. government studied microwave bioeffects. In the 1970s, the core mechanism was scientifically proven. In 2001, Congress admitted the existence of psychotronic weapons by trying to ban them. Then, in 2002, they erased that admission. And from 2016 to today,
Hundreds of government employees have suffered the exact type of physically verifiable brain injuries that this timeline makes all too predictable.
This is the question that the official record forces us to ask. The evidence shows a clear path. The technology was known, the biological effects were studied, and the one attempt at prohibitive legislation was systematically defanged. So where does that leave us now?
The only logical conclusion here is that the technology didn't just vanish after the research in the 60s or after the legislation was changed in 2002. It was developed, it evolved, and it is being deployed. This timeline is a matter of public record. It's time to demand a full accounting.